So here we go. This is Prompt Down, the app on the left. It's a Swift application. It hosts a web-based Markdown editor, and its whole entire job. I'm going to set its target to ChatGPT. Uh, its whole job is to manage prompts and to um, author prompts and send prompts. That's its job. So, like right now, I'm going to send the root prompt. So I have different root prompts um, for different targets. So this is the root prompt I have for ChatGPT, and if I look at my prompt browser, I've got. I'll look at only root prompts. Let's see here, and only the one for ChatGPT. Okay, this one. So here that guy is. He gets stored. I have a little bit of a bug right now. I store my tags in the content, and I sometimes get caught. So you can see here, it's like, and I can replace this with that guy. So this is a full Markdown editor. I can save Markdown files, I can open them, and then I can send them as prompts if I want to, or edit them first. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what my, actually, no, I've been curious about something. Does this thing support plus? No, that's a bummer. I'm gonna have to fix that. Right now, it doesn't. It doesn't let me zoom in and out, which, like in a browser, which I'm kind of surprised by. But we'll have to figure that out. Anyway, what I'm doing here, what I found is you can set your settings in the app of your choice, like in ChatGPT, the desktop app, or Claude Desktop, or whatever. And it's sort of a prompt that gets sent silently at the beginning of every conversation. And I found that different apps treat it differently, weight it differently. Uh, ChatGPT does a pretty good job. I mean, of it knows about the prompt, it knows about things generally, not always. But I found universally so far that if you actually send it as a prompt in the conversation, it carries more weight than if it's in a setting. So that's why I found value in being able to send the root prompt. Not always at the very beginning of a conversation, but generally I'm getting more and more I find that I want to. So I thought I'd do a little bit of walking through my current model, what I have going on so far. So there are these persistent modes, and they are no code mode. Don't write any code. Uh, period. In fact, don't write any code and don't use any MCP tools. So it's really kind of do nothing. Let's talk. But I've left it as no code. Read only is just like no code, except go ahead. You can use MCP tools and you can read things, but don't write anything. It's read only. One word is reply only in one word. Like no matter what I say, you reply in just one word. All of these, most LLMs have a hard time really keeping to the agreement. But and then this one I find really useful is mode SBS, which is step by step. So it's like, hey, we have a process to go through, or I want you to ask me a series of questions, but I want you to wait for me to answer each question before blapping out the next. Because sometimes it'll go, well, here are the questions, 16, 17, 18. And it's like, dude, one step at a time. So anyway, that's this. And notice that I have an until clause in each one. Like, here's how to clear that mode. Then mode exclusion is basically you can write code, you can change files, but don't change any of these kinds of files. So I don't use it very often, but when I need it, it's super useful. Now, all of these modes are, hello, all of these modes are, can be operant at the same time. They're not, none of them are mutually exclusive. I guess in a way, no code and read only sort of are. It's like, well, if I can't use MTP tools, then, how can I read new files? But for the most part, they're additive. So then I try and set up. I say, hey, these they're binding contracts. They're laws. Multiple can be in effect at once. Each stays active until they're released. Don't assume anything. Don't change anything. Don't if you think you're going to break it, self-correct and come back. Now, I've literally had Claude Desktop. I'll say mode no code. We'll have a conversation and I'll say, that sounds good. Go for it. Forgetting we're in no code mode. and then it will literally send me mode dash no code, clearing its own mode and then off to the races, and it's like, dude, the whole idea is I'm the setter of the modes, but really it is a collaboration. So, and most of the time it's right. Most of the time I'm like, yeah, I actually did want you to write code, so you're right. But it's kind of an ongoing thing. I'm still tuning this to try and get these to really be binding. So those are the modes that I set up and I use pretty regularly. And then defaults are just like in general. So some of these don't have anything to do with, some of the, like if I'm using OpenAI's Codex CLI, for example, you don't need to worry about matching my speed and tone and voice. But if I'm talking to ChatGPT, I do want it to speak as quickly as I do and be as irreverent as I am and that kind of thing. Makes it more fun, more enjoyable. But anyway, you can read these for yourself. Here they are. And then, so this is the root prompt. And then I came up with that name myself. I thought, what would you name the prompt you always start a conversation with? And it's like, well, it's kind of the root, like start at the root. So, and then the conversation branches out from there. And then I came up with this idea of a seed prompt, which, in Amazon Q, this would be considered compacting your history. And basically what it does is it creates a context capsule and deletes the history of your current conversation and then replaces it with that kind of concise tokenized version. That's the same thing as what a seed prompt is. So the idea is you're going to get either you're going to get one or you're going to create one, but it's basically, I sometimes make the joke that it's kind of like talking. It's like Memento, that movie Memento, where the guy has no memory, wakes up every day, no memory of the day before, and he like makes tattoos on himself to give himself an idea of what the heck's going on. So those tattoos would be like seed prompts, and it's like, hey, since you were waking up constantly without knowing what's going on, let's go ahead and do that. So anyway, that's my root prompt, and that's what a seed prompt is. This is a little glimpse of my prompt down application I've been working on, and that's probably enough for now.